What's up, guys? So Moon Knight episode 4 has just dropped. We've got some pretty major developments leading up to what has been said to be the episode that changes everything, which seems to be the case for most MCU Disney Plus shows. Episode 4 is a game changer supposedly, which we'll have to wait and see exactly what it's all about. Although I do have some ideas we'll get into. We get a bit of exposition on Layla's character, a peek at what Jake Lockley is all about, more perspective on the Egyptian pantheon and their views on Khonshu and the power of Khonshu. I mean, he legit moved the stars, him and Steven, or him through Steven, and it was beautiful. And although I really enjoyed the episode because we're finally in the swing of things, there were some things I noticed that were kind of off to me, so we'll be getting into all the likes and dislikes as usual. I'll fill you guys in on some of the more interesting things I picked up on because the Overvoid was name dropped, so that's kind of a big deal, and we'll make some predictions for the next episode based on what we saw. But before we do any of that, make sure to support your boy by hitting that sub button, turning on your notifications, leave a thumbs up, follow my social medias, like, retweet, all that good stuff. TV 14, you say?
Slut, give me that.
Let's get into it. So we start off by getting some exposition for Layla while getting her passport for Egypt all whipped up. We find out her father was the one that discovered the scarab, and it seems Layla and her father will be our Marlene and the archaeologist from the comics for the MCU, which I think is really cool. So she was probably there that fateful night in the MCU in Egypt along with her father, who presumably got killed by Bushmen. We get like this Jason Bourne sequence of Mark in Cairo running across rooftops, chasing after some thugs, trying to get info on Harrow and where his dig site is to stop him from releasing Ahmed. The action here is, I would say, decent. Nothing too special, really. We see Mark about to brutalize them before he's stopped by Steven, and once more another chase begins after he comes to, and we get another perspective change. But this time when Mark wakes up, he wakes up to dead bodies, and that's because we just got a taste of Jake Lockley, Mark Spector's third personality, and he will be the brutal one. So I'm guessing the idea is that Mark Spector will be the balanced warrior, Steven will be the weakest fighter but the brains of the operation, and Jake will be the savage. And again, I really enjoy this because as I was rereading the 2014 run, issue 8, there's like this suicide bomber holding hostages in this tower, and Mark goes in there and he's constantly switching back and forth between Mr. Knight, Mr. Grant, and Lockley, and honestly it's a bit much and it can be confusing. So I really do love the changes they're making to have each individual personality be distinct from one another. So best believe Jake Lockley will come through in that black and white armor. So when this happens, there's no other way to stop Harrow other than calling for the gods. So Khonshu, already in bad standing with the Ennead, alters the sky to show an eclipse, and this signals the gods to call for a meeting in which the Ennead's avatars attend and the gods speak through them, and we get to meet the avatars for the whole Ennead, which some of them look busted as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, okay? I didn't know Pete Buttigieg was gonna be in this show, but that's nice to see you, Pete. Like, legit, who let this motherfucker be boss? Can Gore get here sooner? Except for Yatzil, who was an absolute baddie and super chill. I really actually loved her, and she seemed to mess with Khonshu, so please spare her, Gore. It was very interesting to see the rapport and dynamic between the gods and how disconnected they are from the world. Khonshu also mentions they dwell in the Overvoid, which, guys, it's like this weird extra dimensional space the gods reside in, and in the comics, I believe it first appeared in the Jeff Lemire run, and it's fucking insane, guys. Like, if we actually visit the Overvoid, which we might have already seen in the promos, it's going to be insanely beautiful, as you can tell from the art. Literally, I need to see this glowing pyramid in live action, okay? I cannot rest, okay? I'm gonna shit so much blood once I see it, or even if I don't see it. But basically, they summon Harrow so that Khonshu can argue that this man is in fact a menace and have the gods put a stop to him. But goddamn, this was an amazing scene for Harrow because he literally finesses a room full of gods with his fakeness, okay? No wonder he has a cult. He absolutely deserves it if he can do this to gods. He puts a clinic on Khonshu and Mark, just methodically roasting them in front of the other gods. Khonshu really had no comebacks, okay? So the meeting is adjourned, but Yatzil, being the amazing person she is, informs Mark of another way to find the tomb, which would be a map in a sarcophagus sold on the black market. And this is when Layla, #1 wife in the world right now, officially comes through and helps guide Mark to where the sarcophagus would be because of her certain dealings in the black market, as was explained in the beginning of the episode, which is at the home of Anton Mogart, or Midnight Man, to which once we get there, we get a Madripoor reference, again getting that connective threading in, and we get to the sarcophagus. But Mark Spector is no Egyptologist, but Stephen Grant kind of is, and so they ask for his help and he obliges reluctantly. But that again is another instance of him slowly proving himself to be more and more like Mr. Knight in the comics, the detective figuring shit out. But unfortunately and very funnily, Harrow has followed them and pulls up just to first off player hate, sow the seeds of doubt like a hater would. He steals the fucking sarcophagus, or maybe he even actually destroys it, in which that would be way funnier if he just came and destroyed this guy's sarcophagus, and dips. That's basically all he does, okay?
Yeah, you know
he
what I'm saying?
came
Like,
to
real
cause
hate, man. That's like
problems,
an
and
art
that's when
form, man.
Anton sicks his men on Steven and Layla, and Moon Knight comes out. At first, I gotta be honest, I wasn't feeling the action here, guys, and I thought the CGI was pretty awkward. I still think it's kind of awkward even now. He sped up some of the movement a bit too fast, but upon rewatch, it's kind of grown on me. I actually don't have as much of a problem with it as before. It's kind of sunk in. He's punching people and they're flying back, which I love, breaking arms and legs. Really good on the brutalness. Shit, if I was one of those guards and I saw this mofo go from being on the ground to the top of a pyramid, I would have just stopped, for real, okay? Like, after a mofo does this, you ain't winning, okay? That's just a fact. Oh, you're gonna beat the guy that just ran straight through a fence? Good luck. Anyways, I also heard people complain about Mr. Knight being used to bring some levity in this moment, saying that it messes with the tone of the episode. Personally, I really don't see it. I thought it was funny, another way to display the distinction between personalities, and the whole altercation ends with Moon Knight neutralizing Anton very ambiguously as he fades into the mist. Again, that was Gaspard Ulliel, the actor that has since passed away, so who knows how his death could have possibly altered the course of the show if they had to kind of soft remove his character from the series. Who knows? But I think eventually we would have gotten a full Midnight Man, so that's unfortunate. Rest in peace once more. But after this, we get some good back and forth between Layla and Mark about the relationship and how much Layla doesn't know, and I really can't wait to explore more of their relationship. I want to see these two be happy together, or these four, however many it is. And now they try to piece together the map to Amit's tomb, which they have to use Steven for, which again, the transition from Mark to Steven by Oscar Isaac is absolutely incredible, okay? On the drop of the dime, he changes and pieces everything together, but finds out they need to track the stars, but that the constellations, they were all in different places when this map was made, so they'd still be screwed even though they have this all linked up, unless they knew exactly where the stars were on that night, but Khonshu does. And I love this scene on so many different levels, guys. Khonshu literally sacrificing himself for the greater good like a good god should, okay? Khonshu realizing Steven's worth, although I doubt he'll stop calling him Worm. Like, this whole scene felt like such a proud father moment. Layla seeing how amazing Steven is, and this causes the gods to trap Khonshu in stone. Again, these guys, you know, I can't wait for Gore to get here. I mean, you have Thor doing shit, you have all these other like godlike figures doing shit, and it's like, let your boy rock out like bands. It's that simple. Who the fuck? Nobody even gives a fuck anymore. So after this, Steven passes out, and that's essentially the end of the episode. So from there, I think what'll happen next is that Steve or Mark or maybe even Jake will wake up in that psychiatric ward, just like from the comics, and he'll be told that Moon Knight was always bullshit, okay? It was all in his mind, and that is until, I'm thinking, Yatsil will help bring Khonshu back, since she's the avatar of Hathor and was an old friend of Khonshu. I think they pretty much laid the groundwork for her to be the one to help out. Remember that Harrow was tracking Mark and Layla, so I'd imagine they'd be captured the next time we see them. Again, guys, just remember that we have 3 more episodes left, so expect things to move faster than they already are, which would be my only gripe really with this episode in particular. Certain things felt a bit rushed, even the movement for some parts, but nonetheless, this show and the episode has so many redeeming qualities. Oscar Isaac's performance, Ethan Hawke's performance, you really forget about the flaws, so be prepared for next week. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode, if y'all picked up on anything that I didn't mention, and any predictions for the next episode. I'm all ears. That's it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.